Hey everyone, it's Michelle and Mia from Gray Family Farms. Today we're going to talk about all the different plants that we grew in 2020, what was successful, what wasn't successful, kind of what we'll grow again, what we won't, just different things that we learned, and just kind of do a rundown. If I remember where we got our seeds from, I will definitely make sure to state that. If I don't, I'll let you know. Okay, so the first thing we planted, we started our garden in May for Mother's Day weekend. We moved into our house in March, and I started some seeds early, but I definitely didn't, I wasn't strategic about it. I didn't look at when to start seeds. I just kind of started what I felt like starting, and then Mother's Day weekend we transplanted everything out. So Mia was my helper. Actually, everybody helped with putting the beds together. I can do a video on our beds. They're actually really cheap. They're less than $30 to put together, if I'm not mistaken. We did them from $30, maybe $35 each, which is way cheaper. And they're good size. They're 8 feet by 4 feet, so they're pretty good size. So here's the rundown of what we grew in 2020. All right, first off, we start with tomatoes. We definitely were very successful with our tomatoes this year. I was gifted some tomatoes from my mother-in-law. We got some Aunt Ruby's German green tomatoes, and then we also got some Triple L crop tomatoes. Those are both indeterminate varieties. Obviously the German green is a green tomato. Triple L is a big red tomato.
It was very big.
Yeah, and they were both really good slicing tomatoes. I think we made, BLTs with them. They were very tasty.
Really good.
Yep. And then we did a ton of cherry tomatoes. So we did Lucky Tiger tomatoes, which we know for sure. I got those from Baker Creek. I might actually have the seeds while we're talking. And Chadwick cherry tomatoes. The Lucky Tiger were my husband's absolute favorite.
She's finding the seeds.
These are from Baker Creek, Lucky Tigers. They're really good for snacking. My husband doesn't like tomatoes normally, any kind of tomato, but he would eat these raw. But we also use them, we sliced them up in little slices like that and roasted them with our other cherry tomatoes, and they were also really tasty that way. This is the Chadwick cherry that we grew. That if you saw our video on the roasted cherry tomato pasta, that's the cherry we did for that. And then there's actually another one I didn't even write down, and I can't believe I forgot because I actually really love these. We tried one determinate variety called the orange hat tomato, and they literally only get like, I'd say maybe a foot tall. Let's see, it says 6 to 9 inches tall. There you go. And that's very accurate. It does not get very big. We originally had them in the planter bed, but I moved them to pots, and they actually thrived better in the pots. We didn't get a crazy amount of orange tomatoes from them, but also we did move them from the bed to the pots. Ooh, it's gonna start raining behind us. And that transplant shock might have been part of it.
Wait, we also have, right now we have Barry's Crazy Cherry.
Yeah, okay, so technically I'm still growing tomatoes. I did a very late sowing of them, and I don't know if they're actually gonna ripen before our frost comes. We're supposed to get frost in about 3 weeks. So I actually deadheaded all of them. I topped them, not deadheaded. I topped all of them to try and force the plant to push all of its energy to ripening the fruit. So I'm gonna see, but we have Barry's Crazy Cherry, and then one other variety that I honestly don't remember. It's one of these in my tomato packet. I honestly don't remember. Okay, next, our herb garden. We did 3 different basil plants, three different types of basil plants, and then 3 different plants of each variety. So I had 9 basil plants, which was way too much. Yeah, that's why we have basil drying all over the house.
Oh yeah.
So we did just 3 different like organic basils. Here, I wasn't gonna pull all these out, but so this is actually a really old, not really old, at least a 2-year-old packet of just like a regular basil you would get at like a hardware store. So we planted some of those. We got a free packet of dark purple oval basil from Baker Creek, and we loved this. It was super pretty. I actually would probably grow multiple plants of this one again, specifically because, well, 1, it's beautiful, but 2, I think it would be really good in like a cut flower bouquet, so I might do that one. And the last one, I don't remember where I got these seeds, but these are Thai sweet basil seeds. They may be from Baker Creek, but I gave the packet to a friend of mine, so I don't recall. But the Thai sweet basil was also really prolific.
Wasn't the Thai
Next
sweet
year-
basil one? Wasn't Thai sweet basil had like purple flowers?
Yep, it did.
Yeah, they were. Really
Next year I'll probably only grow 1 or 2 plants of basil because we definitely have a ton. We dried a ton. We've got a whole bunch already dried. There's just basil everywhere. Let's see, we also did a rosemary plant, rosy rosemary. I did 3 of them and they all did germinate, even though I've heard that rosemary has very spotty germination. We were successful in germinating them, but they only got to be about yay high, and then I think the plants around it needed different watering than the rosemary did, so the rosemary ended up not doing super great and then dying. Next year I'm going to do a bit more research on growing that and potentially grow it in its own separate container instead of putting it in a garden bed so that it's not affected by the watering of all the other plants. Craig's Grande jalapenos, so we do have them still growing. We did 3 plants. We pulled 1 out because I think I planted them a little too close together, but they're still going. They're actually right back here. They're very prolific. We have a ton of them, but I wouldn't say they're grande. I think they're just like a medium-sized jalapeno for us. That might be something that we're doing growing-wise that we need to be doing differently. They might need more soil. Maybe I didn't give it enough soil in the raised bed, but we really like them. We've made 2 big batches of jalapeno pepper jelly.
Yes.
We've used some in like our
nachos.
we've put them on, no, we didn't put them on nachos. We put them in salsa. We've gifted some to neighbors. I think I brought some to work. I gave some to my coworkers at work. So we've gotten a lot. It's still growing. It still has a ton. So we've still got a lot of life to live on those. And I'm actually probably going to be doing a video soon on how to overwinter your pepper plants. Since they have been so prolific, I want to see if I can continue them and keep establishing them so that they are climatized to our region and they grow really well. So that keep in mind that that's coming. The beginning of the year we did do some kale and lettuce. We did a dwarf blue Vates kale, which was prolific. It did do a really good job. All of them germinated. We did harvest from that. And then we did a romaine blend. We did get some off of that. I was trying to have one of them go to seed, and it kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and taking up so much space that I finally gave up on it and I ripped it out, but I still have seeds left from it, so I'll probably try to grow that next year.
Yeah.
I did do arugula, but we didn't get to actually harvest it because we planted it so late that it bolted almost immediately. It was already too warm, so I could probably sow some right now and get a harvest before the frost comes, but I'm just gonna wait till next spring and try again next spring and just start it earlier.
We got Market More 76 pickling cucumbers.
Yeah, they're just cucumbers, but we used them for pickles.
Okay, yeah. And I'll put the link to the video in the corner, but we did a video on how to pickle these cucumbers.
Yeah, we did like refrigerator dill pickles. So it's not like true canning where you're preserving it. It was just like a quick dill pickle recipe. But we had a lot of fun making that
And
video.
it was really good. We still have a couple of them.
Dad made more pickles. He tried a different recipe, but none of us are eating those ones. We ate the ones that we made, so ours was way better.
Lunchbox bell peppers, we got them.
I got them from a local nursery, and I got two red lunchbox bell peppers and 2 orange lunchbox bell peppers, and 3 of the plants are still in the garden, 1 red, 2 orange, and they're still producing, and I'm still snacking on them.
Yeah.
Do you like them?
I like them. Yes.
But
I was gonna say I haven't actually had them, but I realized I have had them.
yeah.
But they aren't super big, but they aren't super small. So they're like just the right size.
The orange ones seem to be a little bit bigger. They're like longer, but then the red ones are like. Next year, I'm probably gonna. I did save seeds from those. I'll probably try to grow those again, but I'm also gonna do just some regular bell peppers. I think that in the end, they'll be more usable for our family because we snack on bell peppers a lot. So the lunchbox size ones, we had to harvest multiple of them to make 1 meal's worth of bell peppers for snacks. A friend of mine named Ashley, I think she's starting a flower farm in like Harvest, Alabama. I'm forgetting the name of it. The Lovely Acre, something along those lines. She gifted us a couple years ago, gifted us some rattlesnake heirloom watermelon seeds. At the time, I was not able to plant them, and then we listed our house and we moved, and so I tried them this year, and they definitely grew, but we only got two.
We got 2.
2 watermelons out of them before we ripped them out.
Because the bugs found them.
No, not those ones. The chickens started eating them and like kind of destroying them. Maybe we got more than 2. I think we got a few of them, but only 2 that we actually like picked off of the plant.
Yeah, 2 of them got big enough that we could pick them off.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones were too small.
Yeah, they didn't have a crazy amount of flavor. I would grow them again just because they're kind of cool looking. If I can find the picture, I'll add the picture here. I also grew a pumpkin plant, but I honestly don't know what variety it was. They were starts gifted to me by my mother-in-law from her pumpkin plant last year that just started growing in her yard, I think. I don't even remember. We did harvest one. We actually roasted it and ate it, and it was very tasty.
Yeah, it was really good. But sadly, bugs got to those. That's vine borers.
Yes, the vine borers did get to that plant, so we only got the 1 pumpkin off of it. All right, so the next we have growing in our planter beds still right now, the Blue Lake bush beans. I started those, I want to say in like June or July, and I really think within the last couple of weeks, maybe month, they started actually producing. So I almost ripped them out a few times because they were flowering, but nothing was happening. But this was my learning year, so I left them, and I'm very glad I did because we've harvested three meals worth now, and I actually saw this morning there's more on there that we can continue to harvest. Next year, I will grow these again, but I think right behind them I'm going to grow the vining, not a bush bean, but like an actual vining. I think I got a Kentucky pole bean seeds for next year, so I'll have Kentucky pole beans vining up an arch trellis, and then I'll put the bush beans at the base so that we'll have a little bit of both.
Cool.
Yep, because I do like the flavor and the texture of those. And then another, not bean, but we're growing sugar snap peas currently.
Yeah, right.
We haven't gotten any flowers, we haven't gotten any fruit. We have a very rainy day, as I think it's technically considered Tropical Storm Delta is passing through here now, but Hurricane Delta made its way up to North Alabama, so all my plants are getting a lot of water right now, so maybe we'll see something soon. All right, so now we'll dive into what we currently have growing in our beds right now. Right now we have, let's see, actually 3 different kinds of kale. So these 2 and this one. So you want to tell them about the kales? Because you helped me plant them.
Yeah, we're growing the dwarf blue Vates kale, the scarlet kale, and red Russian kale.
Yep. So those are cooler weather crops. So we did grow kale at the beginning of the year. We sowed them in March, and we're harvesting early this year before it got too hot. And now we're doing our fall sowing so that we can harvest before winter comes along. I do think these may, especially the red Russian kale, may actually survive the frost, so they may continue to be okay in the garden beds after we get our frost. Cool. What else are we growing in there?
So we have Yadfa broccoli
From Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. We grew them earlier this year as well, and
the chickens ate them.
Yep, we let the chickens kind of free range in our garden beds. Bad idea. They loved my broccoli, so they ate them.
But we have 9.
3 or 4 that are growing.
Wasn't there like 9 but when we first planted them?
Those are a different broccoli from my friend Ashley.
Oh.
So we do have some just regular old broccoli, don't know what variety exactly, from my friend Ashley. We have 9 plants growing right now. We do have an issue with caterpillars right now. I picked a bunch off this morning, so we're going to have to be checking those a bit more and getting all the caterpillars off of them, because they're kind of eating the leaves, and if the leaves are eaten, they won't grow the cauliflower head, or the broccoli head. There we go. Alright, what about in the back garden bed?
We have Danvers 126 carrots, new something,
Corota.
carrots, Cosmic purple carrots, Black Nebula carrots, Pink beauty radishes, China rose radishes, and zucchini and squash, but they were eaten by vine borers.
No, the vine borers got the zucchini and squash we planted in the summer. So we're growing some again to try and skip over that. We definitely had an issue with vine borers this year. They got our pumpkin plants. They got all of my squash plants. I tried doing zucchini, like a yellow summer squash. I tried doing a patty pan squash, not honeydew.
It was something melon. Is it in here?
No, not a melon. Yeah, we did Ford Hook zucchini, yellow squash, early prolific yellow squash.
Something noir, right?
No, not that one. Yellow scallop squash or patty pan. I tried doing a spaghetti squash, honey boat delicata squash, and I think that's it. These ones are for next time. But yeah, definitely got vine borers get to all of those. So we have a few growing out there right now. I don't remember which varieties of those I put out there, but just trying to get some sort of squash to grow. But you did remind me, we did grow Noir de Carmes melon, which I did not put on here. We harvested at least 2 or 3 that we ate personally, and then we fed the rest to our chickens, and they loved them. Like loved them. So I would probably grow them again just because they are it's a pretty unique plant. Let me see if I can find them for you guys. There we go. So they start off this like really dark green color, and they don't get much bigger than, I'd say, like a big softball size. And as they ripen, they start turning orange, and they'll look like this one day, and then the next day they'll be all like yellowish orange. They were okay. They're not like amazing, but I'm
They
also
smell really good.
they do. I think the smell is even better than the taste.
It smells like honeydew,
Mhm.
like you said.
I'm not a huge melon fan, but I would probably grow them again specifically to give to our chickens as like a treat. But yeah, so that is all that we're going to talk about today. Just kind of what we grew. If you have questions, if I didn't mention where something was from and you have questions about it, just leave a comment below and we will get back to you. I do have all of my seeds. I'm currently working on organizing them, and I'm actually creating like an Excel spreadsheet of all of my seeds so that I can organize them and then filter them by type of plant or when to plant or all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm a nerd. That's okay though. But
No, you're not.
that's what we grew in 2020, and in that little space over there. You see where we painted our fence and then we left off because the rain started.
Yeah,
Darn.
we're gonna keep
But
going soon.
look at all that space I could be growing.
No!
My husband won't let
We're
me.
gonna have a pool!
No,
We're gonna have a pool.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I am trying to convince him to move this fence out by another about 15 feet or so. And it would basically double my growing space, which would be super cool.
It's so cold.
Yeah. Well, it's raining. We're going to go inside and have some tea. I want some tea. And we'll do another video maybe later today. And we'll talk about all of our goals for 2021. I'll go through my specific seeds and show you which the actual packets of what I'm growing for 2021, ones that I haven't started or haven't tried growing before, ones I have tried growing before. Yeah, we have a pretty big list of videos that we want to create for you all.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting serious about this YouTube thing. All right, ready?
Yep.
See ya.
Bye.